Good morning. Welcome back to Mishmas. It is early, even by my standards. It is 3:43. I've been up since about 3:15. Partially because I just woke up, and also my husband has a really early flight to catch, and I am driving him to the airport. So he is not a morning person. So I wanted to make sure he got up, but I hear him. Yeah, I hear him walking around upstairs, so that's good. Turning on the Christmas tree. Ta-da. So do you guys turn on the Christmas tree, like keep it on all day? I do. I used to like just turn it on at night, but why? Why? It should be enjoyed all day. I need to make some coffee, and I actually purchased more of these French presses from Bodum. I have two from Bodum. I have one that I believe is kind of like their standard size. I don't know what it is, maybe like 34 ounces, something like that. And then I have this one, which is much larger. I think it's like 50 something ounces. And this is like thermal or whatever. It's too much for when I just want to make like a cup of coffee for myself, basically. So I got these little ones. I wanted this copper finish, but they didn't have any, so I just got the regular chrome finish. So I got two of these off of Amazon. Oh yeah, this is perfect. Perfect, like personal size. Yeah, and just as a comparison, yeah, it's like much smaller. Okay, awesome. Let's make some coffee. Let's make 3:45 a.m. not feel so 3:45 a.m.
Good morning, sunshine. Gonna take your daddy to the airport. I'll be right back, okay?
All right, I am back from dropping my husband off at the airport. It is now 6 o'clock in the morning. I feel like I've had a full day. But today is super exciting because one of my best friends is in from New York, and he's actually here for work. So he's been here since, well, for like a few days now. And so he kind of just extended his trip just to hang out for a couple nights with me. So tonight we are gonna go see Awakening, which is a show at the Wynn. And because the Wynn has to do their own thing, it's like they put on these productions that are kind of like Cirque du Soleil. They're not Cirque du Soleil, but they're in that same vein. So that's what we're gonna go see. Sorry, I think I have like eye boogies. And then before that, we're actually gonna go to Casa Playa, which is a Mexican restaurant at the Wynn, which I've never tried. And I've tried a bunch of the restaurants at the Wynn, and this is one that I haven't. So I was like, does that sound good to you? And he was down for Mexican. So that's what I'm gonna be doing today. I don't know when I need to go pick him up or whatever, because he's still working today, at least like the first half of the day, and I need to work also. Probably be editing this vlog. But yeah, so I'm so excited, but because I woke up so early and I'm gonna have a later than usual evening, I'm probably gonna need to nap. Do you guys disco nap? I need to disco nap. So I'll probably be doing that today as well. And oh, you know, am I gonna be disco napping? Because my the girl that comes to help me every once in a while, she is coming today. She's been really busy. I was away and busy with Thanksgiving or whatever, so I actually have not seen her in a long time. But she's gonna come today. I need her to, just do some clean makeup brushes and like maybe put away some makeup or whatever, steam some clothes, that sort of thing. So she will be here doing that, and my furniture is gonna be put together today. So today's actually a big day. I don't know. I'm hoping I'll have time to nap, but if I don't, I don't. I'll probably pass out at the show. So that's it. Right now, I need to figure out what I'm gonna eat for breakfast because I am starving. And I don't know if you guys do this, but I end up eating the same thing for like a really long time. So I've had 2 hard-boiled eggs for breakfast for a super long time. And then when the weather started getting really cold, I started eating oatmeal because it just seemed, I don't know, it seemed like the right thing to eat while it was cold out. But I had that for like, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks in a row, I think ever since I got back from Morocco. And I'm like, I can't eat that anymore. So I've been dying for a bacon, egg, and cheese, which needs to be spoken as one word, a bacon, egg, and cheese. And, you know, it's something I had all the time in New York. It's just something you could grab at a bodega, really easy. It's like super cheap. I think when I lived there, they were maybe like $2. But yeah, it's not that, I mean, I can find it here in Vegas, obviously, but it's not that common. It's not like I can, well, there are no bodegas here. That's one thing. Kind of think about it. We do have a diner-ish place. It's called Rise and Shine, and they're open for breakfast and lunch. So they have obviously a lot of breakfast type stuff, egg, bacon, that sort of thing. And they have this bagel sandwich. It's called the Three Little Pigs. And you get a plain or an everything bagel. Of course, I select everything bagel. And they give you egg, cheese, and then they give you bacon, ham, and sausage, which is why it's called Three Little Pigs. I'll eat anything. I won't eat that. That is like way too much. It is so disgusting. So I'm like, so I always end up ordering from them, and I tell them no sausage, no ham. So I just get the bacon. But it's like, it's in the price. Like I'm paying for all three. So it's actually like a fairly expensive breakfast sandwich. So I'm like, I need to find just a cheaper alternative, someplace that just has a bacon, egg, and cheese. So I think I'm gonna do a quick little search. A drive-through would be ideal, of course, because I'm that lazy. But if not, I'll get out of the car. I'm not above getting out of the car. Okay, I've got my Look Optic readers on. I really love these. These like 7 from Venus Williams ones. These are so nice, they're really, really light. And I think at Starbucks, they just have, is it sausage? They have bacon, sausage, and egg wrap. What's with the multiple meats? That's I think when it gets really disgusting. Oh, they have an Impossible breakfast sandwich. Oh, double smoked bacon, cheddar, and egg sandwich. I don't think I've ever seen this at my Starbucks. I need to get my phone and see what's available at my particular location. Double smoked bacon, cheddar, and egg. Huh, maybe that sells out quickly every day, because I feel like I've checked this when I've wanted this particular situation, and I've never seen it. Okay, so I decided I'm actually going to a different Starbucks, which is a little bit further away from me, but I have to go get gas. So it's close to where I get gas. So I can do these 2 things easily. Hold on, I have to show you guys this sunrise. There's no one behind me, right? Let me pull over. But the sunrise is, it's gorgeous. Can you see the sky? I hope the camera's catching the sky. Isn't that beautiful? It's gorgeous. Everyone is experiencing a lovely sunrise this morning. Anyone out there get up early enough to see a sunrise like me? So, since I've got you in the car here, you know, I was thinking about this when I was driving to the airport. It is one of the reasons that I love Las Vegas. And so many people have asked, you know, why I moved to Las Vegas, why I moved to Vegas from New York, like, you know, what was our reasoning or whatever. And there's, you know, a lot of reasons that I'm not going to bore you with. But Las Vegas, there were a lot of reasons why we were moving out of New York that didn't necessarily have anything to do with Las Vegas, which I'll say for like a different video. But the reason why we picked Las Vegas is it just had a lot of things that I was really looking for in a city or town or wherever we were going to move to, because there were, you know, we were kind of open. We were really open to a lot of different locations, and you know, there were a few things that I wanted. I was like, I'm definitely up for something different than New York, because we had been thinking about cities like Chicago, Miami, Boston. I mean, none of those places are exactly like New York, but the living would have been kind of similar. We would have been in an apartment. It would have been a very kind of like metropolis kind of location. Sorry, my camera's crooked. Very urban location. And so I thought to myself, well, my first priority was a lower cost of living. That was one of the reasons why we moved out of New York. It just, and it continues to be so, but it's just so outrageously expensive to live in New York. So I was just over it. I was like, we can't get ahead. This is just, it's just dumb. And I had started working for myself, and I was like, I can work anywhere. I don't need to be in New York, as much as I loved it. But I was like, I just felt like my time was done there. So a lower cost of living, that was one, like the main priority. The other thing that I wanted to make sure that our new home would have, our adopted home would have, was like a great selection of restaurants. Living in New York, we were completely spoiled by all the different cuisines and the hours. They were open all the time. You could go anywhere at any time, get anything you wanted. So I wanted a little bit of that, and that starts to really narrow down a lot of places, especially if you want it kind of different from New York. So, I love Chicago, and I always thought, I could live in Chicago. But I'm like, that really is just more of New York, between the cost of living and just the way we would live. Like I was saying, it wasn't different enough. And so when you kind of take that out, or those cities out, like Seattle or Denver, whatever, like places that are kind of that kind of living, yet you want a lot of diverse restaurants, it really, let me tell you, it narrows the list down quite a bit. So that really narrowed down the list. And then another thing I wanted was, an airport, and this is why I was thinking about this when I was dropping off my husband. I was doing quite a bit of traveling for work at that point, and I had gone to visit a friend of mine in Atlanta. And I never thought to live in Atlanta, but I was like, well, I gotta keep my mind open. So when I went to visit her, I was like, well, let me see what the deal is. And the traffic was a mess. It just took you forever to get from the airport anywhere. I was like, I don't want that. And I started to realize that most cities, they build their airport like out of the way for obvious reasons, right? It's loud. You can't build tall buildings because, the planes, when they land or when they take off, all the things. And I'm like, like I really don't want this like epic journey to go to the airport all the time, because I was really sick of it in New York. Even though, the airports are mileage wise in New York are not that far away, with the traffic, it can literally very easily take you an hour to 2 hours just to get to the airport. And it's only like 8 miles away or something. Ridiculous. So I was like, I want it to be easy. I just don't want like the odyssey to the airport every time I have to go. And Las Vegas, because it was so small and it was just about the Strip when it was built, the airport is right next to the Strip, which is in the center of the city. And I'm not sure if people here in Vegas realize how unique that is and what a benefit that is. But it's like, if you live in Las Vegas, it just doesn't take you that much time to get to the airport, ever, even with traffic. It's just a quick drive. And for me, it's like this morning where there's like no traffic, it takes 10 minutes. 10 minutes to get to the airport. I don't know of any other place where it's that close, pretty much, to like most of the city. And yeah, just like super convenient. If you live in a city where the airport is in the middle of the city, please let me know. But I don't think that is common. So when we came to visit my parents here, actually, I kind of realized that. I was like, this, and and I pulled out a map. I went to Google Maps or whatever. I was like, the airport's like in the middle of the city. I was like, that is amazing. And I kept thinking like, oh my God, like all that time I'm going to save. So I just love the airport location here. It's an international airport, which is also really great. Yeah, so the restaurants, the airport, there are other things, but I was just reminded of this, like I said, when I dropped my husband off. So anyway, I wanted to convey that to you because, again, I know many of you have been like, why did you move to Vegas? And I know the Strip is really what people know of Vegas, but that's just the Strip. There is a whole city outside of it, which is, it's kind of like a typical American suburban town. So it's really easy to live here. Traffic is getting worse, but it's still, obviously like nothing compared to New York. So if I were to compare it, which I shouldn't because it's apples and oranges. But if I were to compare it to New York traffic, it is nothing. And people here are starting to complain about it. They're like, oh my God, traffic is so bad. I'm like, if your car is still moving, I don't care how slow it is, if it's still actually moving, it's not that bad. Yeah, I know I have some viewers here that are from Las Vegas. Why do you guys love living in Vegas? I love talking to people who've lived here either all their lives or obviously a lot longer than I have. Actually, we just passed our 6-year anniversary here in Vegas. It's so weird. I feel like I moved here, even though, I know I've been here for 6 years. I can kind of plot it out. We spent the entire pandemic here, which was, 2 or so years. But it really feels like last year we moved here. Every time I go back to New York, it feels a little bit more foreign to me every time I go back, but, within like a couple days, I'm just like back to being my angry, aggressive self. Yeah, so anyway, if you live in Vegas, please let us know what it is you love about living in Vegas.
Was it Michelle or Rochelle?
Michelle with an M, Mary.
Oh, okay, gotcha. We have it.
Okay, thank you. Starbucks has been procured. I did also get gas. I did also pick up a flat white. I thought, why don't I treat myself? So I got a flat white with 2%. And I've learned to ask them to steam the milk warm instead of hot. And I don't know if it helps because I think I just burned my tongue, but it's less scalding. As I'm sitting here eating my bacon, egg, and cheese from Starbucks, I got a text from my Pilates teacher. She was like, I thought I had you down for 7 a.m. I completely forgot about my Pilates session this morning. Wow. See, this is how Mishmas kind of starts to like mess with you. Because I'm just like going. And I completely forgot. God, I feel terrible. Anyway, I was like, just charge me for the session. I apologize. I'll see you next week. How embarrassing. The bacon, egg, and cheese. It's okay. It's, there's something, it's like it's pre-made, so it feels a little like airport food, a little bit. And I think that's what I miss about the New York bodega. They just had that, that griddle in the back, and they're just making the eggs, like the eggs were fluffy, and the bacon is just grilled. It's not like nuked like this. Anyway, it's fine. It's just not the same as a bodega. God, I miss a bodega. I really, really miss a New York City bodega. Friends, I'm so bummed. So I'm like getting dressed for my evening out with my friend Matthew. Like I said, we're going to Casa Playa, and then we're going to go see Awakenings. I think it's Awakening because it reminded me of the Robin Williams movie. Anyway, so I had this outfit in mind, and I ordered these shoes. I posted this picture on Instagram. Okay, I love this outfit, but those shoes, not only are they high, I can walk on a platform. You just have to remember to lift your leg up a little bit higher. And the difference between like the platform and the heels, actually only 2.5 inches. So it's not like the tilt of my foot was too high. So I could walk in them, except they're too big. So they have that ankle strap. And when I walk, like the heel literally like flips up. And I actually ordered the shoe in 2 sizes, a 9 and an 8.5. And those are the 8.5. But I feel like if I got the 8, they would be way too small in the toe box, because the toe box is really short and narrow. So then like my toe is kind of ramming into the front. I'm tempted to keep them just because I love the way they look, but I also feel like I can find a different pair of shoes. But I'm kind of bummed. I was gonna wear this outfit tonight. I guess I can wear the coat and the bag, of course. I don't have a lot of like super cute shoes, which I think I've talked about a couple of times, but that's a whole nother video. But I was wearing the cos dress underneath this cos dress. I've worn this for you guys before, right? I've definitely hauled it for you, but it's just a straight like shift dress, and then I have my black tights on. So this is super comfortable. And like I said, I can throw that Dries Van Noten coat on. That's the one I got in New York last time. Last time I was there. And I could bring that Fendi bag, but I think maybe I'll wear my Prada chunky loafers. Like maybe that's a different kind of like look to this whole thing. Maybe I'll do that, and those will be comfortable, and I can drive in them. The other problem with platforms is they're really hard to drive in because you just cannot feel the pedal at all. And I was like, ugh, am I gonna bring them or should we take an Uber? I mean, I had all of these thoughts in my head, but I think I'm just gonna return those shoes. I'm so bummed. Isn't that such a cute outfit? Such a cute outfit. But now I'm gonna be on the hunt for hot pink satin fabric covered shoes because I think that just works with the coat, right? Darn. Anyway, those shoes are from Paris, Texas, which is a brand I've never heard of before, but apparently it's an Italian brand. And the shoes weren't cheap, but they were a lot less expensive than the other like big platforms that we've been seeing, like by Versace or Valentino. They're cheaper than those. And then I got them 20% off at Net-a-Porter, and I was really hoping they were gonna work. Is that new?
This wasn't here last time.
Probably not. That's relatively new.
Cool.
That's
But
really
like, it almost like I don't remember this part of your house. Because I guess it was just like a little pass through the kitchen, so.
My friend Matthew is here, yay! I just picked him up at the Venetian. We just wanted to drop off his bags. You have work to do, right?
A little bit of work. It's a little bit of work.
Look at him with his lanyard still on. He was here for a conference. We won't get into it. It's a lot of work. And then we have, what am I trying to say? I did a reservation at Casa Playa at 5:30. And then we're seeing Awakening.
Big show, spectacular.
A big spectacular. I keep wanting to call it Awakenings. Did we have this conversation?
It's Awakenings.
It's Awakening, but
Yeah.
the movie with Robin Williams is Awakenings, right?
Awakenings, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Which is what I thought was perhaps a Vegas interpretation of the Robin Williams movie, but it's not.
Wow, what an idea. What an idea. Let's get that into production. All right, so while Matthew was doing some work, I thought I would take the opportunity and put some makeup on since we are going out. I am gonna start with the Vitamin Rich Face Base because my skin is definitely feeling really, really dry today. I don't know if you guys can see. I also feel like I have a little bit of eczema coming out from the dryness. So, if anything can help, this primer will definitely help. Yes, that feels better already. I don't know if you can hear the gentleman that came to help me put the couches together that I got for the living room. He's here working on that, so you may hear some hammering or clanking or something. But that's going on down the hallway. So let me start with some concealer. I'm gonna use my Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer, and that's not the right shade. I'm gonna use 2N, even though I got 1N during the Sephora sale. But 2N is still suiting me a little bit better because of that little bit of color that I got when I was in Morocco. I feel like I'm becoming a broken record with this cheek collective from Kier Weiss, but I really love it. So I'm gonna use it again. I'm gonna go into, is it Radiance? I can't really see. I'm gonna go into the bronzer. I can't really see the shade name right now. So I'm gonna go into the bronzer and bronze up my face a little bit. I'm not bothering with powder because my skin feels so dry. Okay, and then, should I go for a different blush? I'm actually going to use my RMS blush. This is the one in Maiden's Blush. I love these blushes. So, let me find an appropriate fluffy blush brush. Oh, here's one from BK Beauty. This is the 110 brush. This is good for blush or highlight. So pretty. I love that sheen. Then I've got my Florasis palette here. I'm going to use this highlighter over here. I should probably grab a different brush. Let me see. I'm going to use this Letitia Lamac brush. This is a really beautiful brush. It's the FF4 brush. It's a very flat paddle. It's great for sweeping on product. A little bit of my Tom Ford Fiber Brow Gel, of course. And then for eyeshadow, I think I'm going to continue playing with this Makeup by Mario palette. I got to use it that one time, but I really want to kind of bond with this palette because I do think it's so, you know, it's so pretty in its very basic way. I feel like I could use it quite often. Let me find the proper brush here. I'm going to use my BK Beauty. This is one of the Angie Hot and Flashy brushes, the A503 brush, big fluffy blender brush. I'm going to go into this matte shade. That's actually a shade that I've used before, but I really like it for adding a little bit of dimension here. A little bit of depth there. My socket line, outer corner. Let's see, I guess I'll go in with the pink. A lot of the other shades in here are quite warm, but this one is cool, the pink is cool, this glitter, but a lot of the mattes are on the warmer side. Not that you can't mix the two, but I'm a pretty simple, simple creature. So yeah, I'm gonna go into the pink just a little bit and brush that over my lid here. That's pretty. I'm going to take a smaller blender, this is the A502 brush, and go into this brown shimmery shade, which looks fairly neutral. It doesn't look that warm, like it's undertones. So I'm going to use this to add a little bit more dimension. I think I mentioned this the first time I used his palette. I think his shadows, at least on my skin, they eventually blend out, but it takes a little bit, like they're a little bit sticky. And I did mention that, someone actually commented and they said that they had heard someone else mention that and they had dry skin as well. So I should really probably put a primer down, or put down some nice thick eye cream before I use this eyeshadow palette. But yeah, I feel like it's a little bit, like I feel like sometimes the shadows just kind of get stuck like right where I put my brush down, but they eventually blend out, which is fine. It just takes like a little bit more elbow grease. Then I'm going to take that same small blender brush, go into this shimmery shade, and just tap that onto my lid. This is the one glittery shade that isn't that like really interesting kind of like wet creamy shadow. This one is like more of like a typical powder shadow. Okay, I think that's enough eyeshadow. I am going to use, I want to use a Victoria Beckham eyeliner. Hang on. All right, they sent over the new Satin Kajal Jewel liners, and they've already come out with a new shade. So they sent me the first three. I did a little swatch party with these when I unboxed this PR. So I'm gonna go with Night Flash, which is like the kind of black silvery one. It's so, so cool. I'm gonna just add this to my lid. And, oh, I see some fallout from that eyeshadow. Tight line. Okay, oh, I love it. I love it. There's just like a little hint of like the silver. It's not too glittery, which is really nice. All right, I'm going to curl my lashes. Just gonna use my Chantecaille Faux Cils Longest Lash. Okay, wow, what's my hair doing? And then lips. I think I'm gonna go for my Dries Van Noten, I think number 14. Number 14, yeah, and satin finish. This is such a great cool toned nude. All right. Makeup is done. My hair is my hair, and I'm just going to try and find some earrings to put on. That's it. Then I think I'm ready to go. am in bed. Matthew and I had a great time at Casa Playa and then Awakening, the show that's at the Wynn, which was, it was okay. It was a little weird. It was very Vegas. It was a little weird. There was a very weak story, but the set design was really incredible. It's almost worth it just to see that. Like the stage was glass. Anyway, it was very cool. But I am in bed. I am running out of battery here, and I just wanted to close out this vlog. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's Mishmas video. Good night.